are useful for their purpose, but they are no substitute for brains.
All right, here we go.
I have to say, well done, Free. Well done. Well played, my adversary. Well played.
Phoenix isn't gay, but if he was, he'd pick Fremo.
Oh yeah, he'd be living down there with you in the bunker, man. Woo!
Once you go free, you always do the Z.
Like one day I'm not going to Duncan, and you could get a controller, a new Xbox, possibly even a cord.
And now, the two guys that took 2 years to fix their audio problems.
Welcome to BGFG, episode 416. I'm your host, Chris Phoenix, and joining me, as always, my brother from another mother, the Appalachian... I just like saying that word. I have nothing else for that. Fremo Z, how are you doing this week, sir?
No, I think we're just ending it right there. The Appalachian. That's good one for me. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to finish out a kill streak.
Oh, nice. Gaming while we're podcasting. Yeah, we do play a lot of Xbox.
I'm like, I don't know about that compared to some on our list.
Well, I have not given my PlayStation love in a while, and that's, I gotta do something about that. I got Gran Turismo right there. I should probably play that. And like I've said before, PlayStation 5 Gran Turismo with the headset, with the VR headset, is really like enjoyable. I don't know if I'm going to get a steering wheel ever for it, because it seems like every time in my life, through 30 years of gaming that we've done, 30 years plus, it seems like I don't know about you, but anytime I bought a
30. I've been gaming for 4 decades plus.
Okay, in all that time, anytime I've gotten
I was about to pull. I just ended the game, put the controller down. I was about to pull my headset off, But yeah, it's like, nope, that's not my Xbox headset.
That's not your Xbox headset. So we have some interesting news this week. A lot of stuff going on. We're gonna get right into it with our news segment.
I just spanked a 75.6 KD on that one.
Well done. That was nice. BGFG News. You heard it here third. So, first up in news, we don't really do political stuff that often, if at all.
Well, we don't do one side versus the other political stuff. We'll talk about the chaos of the political arena, highlight some funny things, and sometimes, it's funny against left or against right, but we don't try to sway opinions.
Correct.
We just try to present information and facts.
And I thought it was important that this week we bring up the whole situation with Trump and the indictments. Not specifically the indictments, but what he has to do on the day that we're recording, on the 24th, he has to report to prison. He has to actually surrender himself.
Yeah.
And this is where things get kind of funny, in my opinion, because again, like we've always said, we're not here to do any of the politico stuff, but it is important to remember that throughout history, this is unprecedented. There's never been. I mean, you have people that were impeached.
Yeah, you have to go back to like the Magna Carta days, like 1300, England, France, like before the Renaissance, where a former ruler was before somebody was overthrown and killed.
Right. And you had people in front of the Senate, like Bill Clinton was impeached, Richard Nixon. I mean, there's been stuff like that. Even, oh my God, is it Grant? Who the hell was it? There was somebody that used to like the speed in a horse and buggy and literally got pulled over in a horse and buggy several times to the point where they fined him. Can't remember which president that was. But the point being is that never has there been a president in this position former, or sitting. He'll be reporting.
I'm just imagining that conversation. Sir, do you know how fast you're going? I got 4 horses. I was moving it.
It was all throughout DC. It happened. But former President Trump has to report to Fulton County Prison in Georgia, and he needs to surrender by technically the 25th. This is Fulton County. All right. The songs have been written about this prison.
Atlanta.
Literature has been written about how bad this prison is. This is not a joke prison in any way. They're known to have poor conditions. In fact, so much so that the Justice Department has already filed civil rights investigations into this place. I mean, this is a known bad place, and all of Georgia is pretty much like, yeah, you got to surrender and you got to do a mugshot at the very least. Now, a lot of the people that are indicted don't even have to be there. They're kind of like checking in, I guess, for lack of a better term. But I wonder how somebody like Trump is going to do in a place like this, even for a short time, even if it's for a couple of hours or an overnight. I'm sure it's going to be completely his own cell someplace where he doesn't have to do anything. He agreed to post a $200,000 bond with an additional $80,000 for racketeering, people. Racketeering. And another $10,000 for each of his additional 12 counts. Not a lot of money, and thank God for those campaign contributions, because that's where that shit's going. I've also seen on the news recently that they were taking a poll, like on the street poll. You know, they walk around and ask people that. And Trump supporters, people that are wearing Trump hats and stuff, have flat out said, in fact, one person, and it was kind of, in my opinion, it was a little bit disturbing. Because they asked one person with a Make America Great Again hat, if Trump was to murder somebody and stood on the front lawn of the White House and said that he murdered somebody, would that be okay with you? They're like, yeah. I'm like, no, that's not okay. Like, that's not okay in any way.
He had to have good reason.
That was pretty much what the guy followed up with.
Yeah.
So he's going to spend all that money for bail, essentially. And you know it's going to come out of the campaign contributions, which I think is funny.
Yeah, no, it won't. It can't. If they prove that, that's another indictment.
I was just going to say that. He's dumb enough. Him and his people are dumb enough to where they would do that, and then they'd be charged with misappropriation of funds, which would be great.
And I'm not going to get into the politics, if you will, of him. No. But I think it's been great for the political system to have someone like this come in and shake everything up and rattle all the cages.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's exposed a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. I one of the things that exposed that I liked the most was the fact that all the crazies that were elected that have been part of in and out of Congress and Senate and things like that, when Trump came to power, they all bloomed. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Bobette, they all just bloomed. And then you're like, holy shit, how did these people get in there?
Yeah, the political landscape in this country right now is the most chaotic it's probably been since the Civil War.
I would not disagree.
And possibly even more so.
Yeah, I would not disagree with that statement at all in any way. Yeah, it's messed
but
up, to say the least.
It's just showing how much has been smoke and mirrors.
Yep.
As far as what the government has actually not done in relation to what they say they've been doing for the American public, and then it's also pulled back the curtain to show on both sides of the aisle how corrupt all these people are.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, all the accusations of weaponizing different organizations against different and this it's amazing.
It is.
It's amazing.
I'm betting that he's trying to get out.
And we got nobody to blame. We got nobody to blame but ourselves because we're the ones that elected all these people into office.
Yep. And I'm betting he's trying to get out of the mugshot picture, but that mugshot's going to be legendary. They're going to have to do it, and it's going to be legendary. I already saw the Rudy Giuliani one. He just looks confused.
Yeah.
Like there was a couple of other people that I don't even know their names because I don't follow this shit. but they were like smiling or just like kind of like, hey, here's a picture. Giuliani looked like somebody just put him over there and said, Grandpa, just stay right here and look at the camera. He just looked lost.
Yeah.
But the Trump one is going to be epic. The trial most likely won't start until March of 2024. Now, here's the pieces that really interested me to bring this to the show. If he's convicted, as we all can guess, he's probably going to shoot for a pardon, call in some favors, that type of thing. Now, if he's convicted, he most likely will not receive a pardon because Georgia state law dictates that he has to go in front of an independent board. He can't just go to the governor and get a pardon. He has to go in front of a board. And guess what? Also, it states that he can't go in front of that board till he's served at least 5 years out of the sentence that he gets.
I mean, that's all supposing that he actually gets convicted of something.
Yeah, it's completely hypothetical. But the fact
the main reason all this is going on is to keep him out of the race. And they'll end up strong arming him into some kind of plea where there's not going to be any time served or any of this other stuff as long as he withdraws from the race. Because that's what they're scared of. They're scared. They're scared of him being in the presidential race and getting back in the White House. They're scared to death of it, and not just Democrats.
No, and I don't even.
The entire political machine is scared to death what will happen if he becomes president again. And so that's how this plays out. That's how this plays out. He will. They'll wear him down to the point that he takes some kind of backroom deal to withdraw from the race, and everything will get swept under the rug.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. All right, let's shift gears. Get into other news.
Or he could nut up and be like, "Bring it," because
it's going to be chaos.
I mean, yeah, it's Donald Trump.
Everybody thinks
trying to predict what he's going to do.
Everybody thinks he was afraid to go to the Republican debate. And it's not that he's afraid, it's that he already has 62% of the votes. Everybody else, I think the next closest has 12. He doesn't need to show up.
Well, he couldn't go to the debate. He had to be reported in person.
He could have done them both. All right.
I guess he could have, but.
So Experion, the credit company that Freemo and I have exposed to everybody that is complete bullshit, seen as none of these credit organizations report to anything federally. It's a made-up number by these made-up companies that get paid to make you feel like you're not worth anything. And now Experion needs to cough up some dough, though. And I just thought it was again, the reason why I brought this up was for what they said. Like, Freemo and I talk to you people a lot about listening, reading between the lines, reading the comments, following the news, following the money. But here's a company that makes a little over $1 billion a year. It's just a credit reporting company. That's all it is. Makes over $1 billion a year. But the FTC and the Department of Justice are not happy with them. Allegedly, the feds are saying that they're spamming folks. If they signed up or were given free accounts to limit third-party access. So what that is like, we reported on the show before a couple of times that companies have gotten ransomware, and then they'll turn around afterwards and say, hey, look, all of our employees were giving them free Experion accounts to go check their credit scores. Now, a trick that nobody really does too often is freeze their credit, and it's a good idea to do that. If you've established a good amount of credit and you've gotten that car or that house or whatever the hell it is that you want to buy, a good idea is to freeze your credit. What that does is that nobody can take a look at not take a look, but nobody can apply for a credit card or anything like that. It doesn't do any damage. Your credit is essentially frozen unless you unfreeze it. So if you're going to go to the store and you're going to apply for a credit card to get a remodeled kitchen, then you contact Experion, you take away the freeze on your credit, and you apply for the said credit card. Well, the free accounts that they were giving people, what they did, because it was a free account, is you started getting marketing emails from Experion. Millions of them were sent out, explaining and promoting additional Experion services, which again is another shitty ass move. Some of them will say like, "Let us know what kind of car you have. We'll tell you what it's worth," and all this. And the next thing you know, you're getting fucking emails from Carvana coming out your butt. It's a simple thing to fix. Like I did it before when I was looking for a car. I gave them my email, but I added plus whatever site I was on to my email address. And what it does now in Google and Gmail is that if I just look at the who was sent to, I can tell you exactly who sold my email address by that little indicator. And these were just triggering more and more and more marketing emails. There's no easy way to opt out of them, and that's where the Department of Justice and everybody's get their panties in a bunch, because you can't really opt out of them. You're getting all these nonstop. I mean, I deal with a lot of these people that get scammed, and they are shell shocked. The one time I got hit years ago, I can tell you it is shocking when your entire bank account is gone, and you're gonna like reestablish your entire life, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you spend weeks getting emails about this isn't happening, or you applied for this thing, and then you're trying to log into something like Netflix, and that's not even active anymore because you changed your credit card. Like, there's a lot of stuff.
That's
and
why I
there's-
stay broke. Nobody wants my identity.
So in Department of Justice's infinite wisdom, you know how much they decided to fine this $1 billion a year company?
Less than 0.1% of their annualized profits.
Yes, Primo, that is exactly right. It is
Not less than 1%, less than 0.1%.
$650,000. That's their fine. And then Experion just comes out and goes, although we disagree with the FTC allegations, our EULA allows us to move forward. Holy shit. Is that not them just going,
It's such a shame you can't see what finger I'm holding up.
Yeah.
That's literally what they just did. Literally.
Yeah. The part of the agreement is they do not have to admit or deny the charges brought against them. So it just goes away.
That's some
It's like-
bullshit, man.
So
So
we're
again,
gonna
it doesn't matter.
we're gonna hand you a stack of cash. Bye.
Yeah. So it's
That's called
publicized
FU money.
it's publicized payoff. That's what that is.
Yeah.
And that's just that they're just, look, the credit companies are just pieces of shit. They really are, and I fucking hate them almost as much as I hate crypto. I hate crypto just as much, and I'm enjoying watching Binance go down the drain. Like I said before, I've had several people that were in my life at one point or another that were, Bitcoin's the best thing since sliced bread, and NFTs and all this shit is, you're missing out. You should be investing. No. In the early days, yes, I agree that we should have strung together like 3 computers and done a Bitcoin. Be sitting pretty right now, or we would have cashed out already, obviously. But you didn't, and now it's just ruined. And now you have a company like Checkout.com, which is based out of London. It's a credit. It's a credit company that serves billions.
Payment processor, basically.
Yeah, a crypto processor. But they process some transactions for Binance, and they just cut their contract with Binance, which we've talked about last week on the show, because that's a sweltering, circling the drain business. And they just cut their contract with Binance, doing this because reports of regulation violations. So you dig a little deeper, and you find out the Checkout cited Binance's anti-laundering sanctions and controls, meaning there wasn't any.
Right.
Like we've told you on the show multiple times, this is literally money laundering. There's rich money laundering, right? And there's poor money laundering. We'll get into it in a minute. Checkout wants no part of this. Checkout's just simply trying to make ends meet in London. That's their thing, whatever they do. They don't want any part of Binance, especially after the whole FTC or whatever the hell it was, FTR, I don't know what the fuck it was. The other company that went under, that they tried to buy out. Binance even turned around and said, hey, we'll consider legal action. No, you are not. Because as soon as you do legal action, all your shit's going to come out in the open. And like we were saying, Bitcoin and digital currency like that's high-level rich people laundering. But you might be wondering what the cheap people laundering money is. That's NFTs, which we warned you about that too. And don't think we forget about you, NFTs, because you're still circling the drain. One of the big promises was that the original artist holds the rights to it. Remember that?
Yeah.
So like you have the girl that the meme with the girl that turns and looks while the house behind her is on fire. That girl cashed out, paid her way through college. The little kid with that little kid, he cashed out on his meme. But everybody else was just expecting like all sorts of money hand over fist. Again, how many times do we have to say it? It's money laundering, but for the cheap folk. This is the people that want to buy, 3 kilos of Coke, not 3 ships full of Coke. This is the people that want to buy 3 kilos, right?
Yeah.
Bitcoin for the trailer full of hash, and NFTs for you just buying a block of hash. That's the difference between it. And so every time an NFT was sold, technically the original owner would get a cut of it. And that's where these companies and these businesses all came from. OpenSea is one of the biggest actually. And even the third or fourth owner of said picture, the original person still gets a cut from it.
Yeah,
So-
every time the NFT sold, royalties paid to the original artist.
Right. And again, tracking that shit, I can't even imagine the headache of that. And we said that before, because we could put pictures on our website of NFTs. What are you going to do? Charge us? Really? How many people are going to do that? So OpenSea, the biggest NFT marketplace, has always charged royalty fees. Started in March of 2024. You're going to love this, Free. They won't be charging the fees anymore. Instead, there'll be tips. And they're completely optional. Oh, that is so great. Oh, you created that wonderful little monkey picture. That's fucking wonderful. And you were making some money, weren't you? Yeah, no, not anymore. I mean, why did they just change? Like,
It's done.
the smart thing, going back in time, we could make money on this, Free. And here's how we do it. We come out with our own little pictures, right? A joint, a kilo of Coke, a needle.
Yeah. And the NFT you're purchasing gets shipped to you.
I mean, at least then I'd be able to track where my money's going. Oh, look, somebody bought the kilo picture. Must be shipping some Coke from Colombia. That's awesome. I just it just made me laugh hysterically when I read about that. I was like, this is just beyond bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, however many years ago when this first hit the scene, we called it then. This is doomed. This is not something that will last. There's no way to sustain it.
How do you even track it? Like, if we created a like, even if we put up our BGFG logo, which is right there.
I mean, if I bought an NFT, not that I ever would, but if I bought an NFT and then I think I can get some money out of it and I want to sell it to somebody, but I don't want to use the exchange, I just sell them the NFT. How are they going to track that? That's one of the first things we said. Oh, wait a minute. You want this NFT? Sure, I have it. I'll sell it to you. Here's the file.
Right.
It's a ripoff.
And like so
Right?
many people,
I mean,
so many people originally. I remember when this first happened. So many people took that monkey picture, they blew it up, and then on their computer, then they cut and pasted it and made it their icon for like all of their social media, from Mastodon to Twitter, to TikTok. So how are you going to track it? Like, that was the first thing we said. How are you going to track it? There's no way to track it. It's obviously a scam. And then if you've just started listening to the show, we'll tell you that we did our due diligence and during the story, and we looked all this up, and like, there was so many fake overseas companies that were connected to these purchases, like sound and audio. Now, that's kind of what I do around here, is sound and audio for broadcasting and streaming and shit. So when I'm looking at these and they're showing the before and after song, a sample. So there's this one company, I remember it distinctly, with a plain old website. It was very much a cut and dry demo website, and they showed their music sampler. They clean and work on your music, and they had 2 pieces of music before and after. Now I know for a fact because I have it. It was a clip that was used on it's a demo clip that's given with a certain piece of software, and they literally used that from GarageBand, and all they did was add 1 filter on it, and they said before and after. You are not a legitimate company, right? So what am I buying? What are these NFTs that you're shifting back and forth? Is it for guns, ammo, drugs, prostitutes? Maybe you're
Possibly all of the above, with the exception of guns and ammo. We don't deal with NFTs.
it's just sad. NFTs are a joke, and I'm glad they're going bye-bye, and I'm glad all the idiots that were doing stuff with them are going bye-bye as well, whether they're going to jail
Well,
or
you do know that Bitcoin is about to become a reality
what do you mean?
for everyone.
What the do you mean? I have a
Not
Bitcoin upstairs.
not Bitcoin as in what exists now, but the government's taking over that whole idea.
The blockchain.
Yeah, they've officially announced a U.S. digital dollar.
Yeah, I did see that. I do not disagree with the blockchain, and we've talked about that before. The blockchain is a brilliant idea. Absolutely brilliant.
Up until the point that the government figured out, and I called this. I said
Yes,
it.
you did.
I
Yes, you
said
did.
it.
Yes, you did.
And you said no, they can't. Yes, they can. That's how they track down Razzlecon. Right?
Don't you disrespect Razzlecon.
I'm not disrespecting Razzlecon. I'm just saying, should have cashed out a long time ago and changed your name. But anyway, I told you, once the government figured out how to hack and ruin the blockchain,
Yep.
they would take control of it.
Yep.
And that would be the end.
Yep.
And that's what's happened. And now the US government is issuing a digital dollar, which means that there will be no paper money. They will control everything. Your bank account can disappear without any recourse.
Yeah, that's going to take we should do a segment on that because
it's gonna. I mean that's why they're doing it. That's why they're doing it, because there is no way to fight back against that. If they digitize all the currency and you have to have their card, which is connected to their blockchain, they can cut you off at any time.
Yeah, and
who did you vote for in the last election? Sorry.
Yeah.
Who do you pray to? Sorry.
Right. And I don't disagree with you. We got to do a segment on that because that's an interesting.
It's scary.
Right, because I don't think it's going to happen right away. There's no way it can happen like overnight. So if you're an older person
not
listening,
overnight, but it's
going to take years.
It's put one little thing in place,
right,
and nobody pays attention, and then the next. But I will say this: it's going to happen a lot quicker than you would think.
I agree.
Because if you look at the political climate, and just certainly no more than 10 years ago, and as recently as 5 years, and I've said it many times, and you've heard me say it, just maintain my illusion of privacy and freedom, right? Just maintain it, because it is an illusion. Our privacy and our freedom is an illusion. Just maintain it, and you won't get a lot of pushback from me. They're not even trying to hide the fact that we have no privacy or freedom anymore. They're not. Uh-oh. You just got a text from the Secret Service wanting my home address, didn't you?
Man, seriously, like why? Seriously? How do they do that so quick? Anyway, I'll respond to them later. What they do, knock on my door. So I want to add to what you said. I think it's not going to happen overnight. I think you're 100% correct. And here's how they're going to do it. They're going to take small steps, like Freemo was saying. Small steps, baby steps, baby steps. The trigger will be pulled when you get notified that this year's income tax returns will all be on a government issued card. You don't have to. You don't have to. You can reuse the card if you like, sir. But it's going to be issued on these cards, and you'll get it in the mail, or you'll get it
They
digital.
already do that.
Well, they do that with like SNAP and other benefit plans.
And stimulus and other things.
Correct, but now you're going to have
Yeah, that step's already in place.
You're going to have
See?
right. Again, all baby steps leading toward that final goal of having that one card or that one digital token that represents you. That's
The final step. The final step will be when they implant.
Oh, I'm down with an implant.
Right.
Yeah.
And they've already started the steps for that too.
Yes.
With medical implants, with all of your records and everything on it.
Yep.
And other things that that you can put on there.
Yep.
It's all these little puzzle pieces, and
Yep,
if you can bring them together, and
correct. But right now it's still.
Don't look over here.
Nothing.
Oh yeah, I mean it may not
Look at
be
that.
finalized in our lifetime, but it's coming, and it's coming a lot sooner than people would think.
Well, right now what's coming is our music break. And going on with our cover summer is this song is about 8 years old, but I stumbled upon it and I just enjoyed it so much.
I gotta ask real quick. What are we basing our summer of covers end date on? Kids back in school? The actual September 21st or 22nd, whatever the official end of summer is.
I was
after
gonna do,
Labor Day.
Next week was going to be the last one.
Okay.
Literally. Yeah.
I was just wondering.
Yeah. So next week will be the last one, and I already have that one picked because it's going to be one that you go, oh yeah, you never played that. So this week it's Umphrey's McGee. What a name for a band, Umphrey's McGee. And this is a Beatles cover. I Want You. She's So Heavy. Great track. But I wanted to do this song because I heard it from somebody else, and then I started looking at covers of this song, and there was a lot of cheesy ones. For instance, The Place Where I Work. You're gonna like this. The Place Where I Work obviously again wanted to cut corners and decided not to pay licensing fees for any music anymore. So now our store radio is literally shitty covers. That's all it is. And they're all fucking slow, miserable, sullen song covers.
Well, you need to show them our show and what's possible with cover music.
Correct.
Because we've had some kick-ass songs this summer.
We have. And the thing that kills me at work is that they're just so melancholy, and like whoever's curating them now is just finding the saddest fucking music to put out there. It's so pathetic. We're already sad. The people that work there are already fucking sad. So the
I was
fact
about
that
to
you're
say,
doing that,
this is intentional.
yeah, just gonna drill us
Like,
right down, grind us
This is
down.
like somebody at the top has like some sort of sociology and psychology degree. They're like, let's see how bad we can make these people feel before they just walk out.
So I feel that right now, I wish I could say, maybe one day I will, but most people can guess. I'm just waiting for the company I work for to just finally be like a scene from The Kingsman when they tripped all the cell phone and everybody kind of started going nuts.
Oh yeah.
I'm just waiting for that to happen at all of the stores, all of them. I can't. It's gonna happen. The way they treat people.
Well, I guess I'm gonna quit shopping there because I don't want to be there when that goes down.
Seriously, I had 2 more people walk out.
Not because I'm scared. I just don't know if I can do all the jail time associated with what I'd have to do to get out of there.
Right. I had 2 people walk out the other day, and then yesterday I had a conversation with some other employees, and like they're all, and I don't mean like you're a gun owner. You own weapons for reasons.
Allegedly.
People can and should own a weapon if that's what makes them feel safe. Now, my company has a strict policy. You can't, even if you have a license to carry, you cannot carry at work, which is fine. I agree with that 100%. But listening to these guys talk about the different weaponry they have at home, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not just like, why do you have one of those round capacity ammo
Drum
holders?
mag?
Yes. Like, what do you fucking need a drum mag for? Ugh.
Tyranny, to combat tyranny.
Right. And that's what we need is big corporate to keep putting the fucking screws to these people. That's a great idea. That's going to end well. Fucking Drum Magazine. Anyway, all right, let's get into Umphrey's McGee.
Oh, I can't wait for you to test out some Dragon's Breath rounds.
Oh, I'm not good with this stuff. All right, let's get into the music. And on the other side, we got Stick
Are you not
Style.
even curious as to what that is?
Okay, what is it?
It's a projectile that is also loaded with phosphorus. So when you shoot it and upon impact, it ignites.
Wow.
Dragon's Breath.
That's that's pretty serious.
Yeah. So even if someone's wearing body armor, you may not get them with the bullets, but the fire is at least going to slow them down.
Yes, it will. On the other side, we're gonna have Stick Style, and then and then we got some space news.
All right, I'm looking forward to that.
Here's a little She's So Heavy.
Ooh, verb. Is that a real plate? Oh, it sounds like it. Yeah. Okay, let's see what we got. Yeah. 2, ready?
I want you so bad, babe. I want you so bad. It's driving me mad. It's driving me mad. I want you so bad, babe. I want you so bad. It's driving me mad. It's driving me. I want you so bad, babe. I want you so bad. It's driving me mad. It's driving me mad. I want you so bad, babe. I want you so bad. It's driving me mad. It's driving me. She's so.
good. That's good stuff. So the song is a little long. The thing I liked about it the most is that they kept it clean. All like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. A lot of the other ones that I heard just were like questionable. Like they took a lot of freedoms, and I get that. In music, you have to. You can't do it exactly the same. Yeah, exactly right. Well, next week it'll be our last song, and it's going to be one that you'll probably not be too surprised about. But before we get into stick style, beer. So I went and I wanted to try something different, and I went into the liquor store, my local liquor store, and I left my glasses in the car. I didn't feel like going to get them again. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna try to squint and see things. And I asked somebody for help, and they were like explaining every damn beer I'm like, look, I just want a lager. That's basically what I want. I just want a lager, no IPA, no nothing. So after I get tired of listening, I'm like, look, I'm just gonna go with Old Faithful. So I go over to the Narragansett aisle. Decent. They had a couple of different ones, and I'm like, oh, I'll get one of those. So I get this one because it has a big old picture of a lobster on it. I'm like, okay, worst. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Don't say anything yet. So remember, I don't have glasses on. I just see the picture of lobster. I'm like, how bad could this be? It could taste like lobster. It could have a seafood taste, which would be interesting and a good thing to talk about nonetheless. What I didn't see was on the very bottom where it says Citrus Session Ale. If there's one thing I hate in my beer, it's citrus. I fucking hate it. This is an awful beer from Narragansett. Yeah. Yeah, and I can't even, it's not good. So that's not the one I'm going to be drinking today. The one I'm going to be drinking today is Harp Lager. This is a good lager right here. This is damn good. What do you have? I swear to God, if you pull out half a keg. It's Modelo 32. Holy crap. All in right there. That is fucking great. Well, and it's also good to see that even on the bigger bottle of Modelo, you still have to peel back the foil. So here's to you. Oh, that is a good beer. And that is yeah. All right, let's get into your little frost action. Yeah, buddy. That best way.
Gaming.
All right, so first up in this week's Stick Style News is something I didn't even see coming, and I have no idea how or why. So Sega...
Somebody got them some AOL money.
Sega just completed the purchase of Rovio for $776 million. Where the did they get that cash? Like, I didn't even know Sega had that kind of cash lying around anywhere.
I mean, it's not that much compared to what Microsoft did for Activision,
But still, 776 million.
Yeah.
And for those
for something that a lot of people would argue end of life is pretty much there.
Yeah. Rovio, for those who don't remember, Rovio is the company that made Angry Birds. Why is this person at my house?
Are they wearing a suit, and do they have Ray-Ban aviator sunglasses on?
No, but this is all kind of getting weird now. This is all getting very weird. Rovio is the maker of Angry Birds, and Sega hopes that this will add to their mobile gaming platform, which I don't disagree. That's, I think, $776 million for a company that their game hasn't been relevant in 15 years. I mean, I played my share of Angry Birds. I also, of course, bought the Star Wars version of Angry Birds.
Yeah.
And that was comical and fun to play for about half an hour. But they do have other properties. Like they have Sugar Blast and they have Small Town Murders. But those aren't good. They never pulled and drew the amount of money that Angry Birds did. I mean, Angry Birds had TV shows, a live action show.
Movies.
I mean, they do get the infrastructure for making mobile games, which I thought was kind of smart. So the infrastructure is there from Rovio, and now they can use their own IPs. So say hello to a swarm of Sonic games coming your way. Angry Birds
Right.
Sonic. That's basically what you're going to see. And I can't begrudge them. I mean, it's not a bad investment combining a mobile
No,
platform.
I mean,
with
buying a
their
mobile
IP.
platform instead of trying to develop one. I love this one line here. Now, who's up for flinging knuckles into a bunch of pigs?
Sounds like a Saturday night. In other surprising news, Major Nelson, who we talked about before, Major Nelson who just recently last month left Microsoft,
Yep.
all Twitter abuzz and all social media when he visited Nintendo. He just basically posted a picture of him with a Nintendo visitor's pass. And the internet went absolutely fucking bonkers yet again. Major Nelson's going to work at Nintendo. All right, people, look, let us demystify this for you a bit. Nintendo and Microsoft has had, a working relationship for years.
Yeah.
Minecraft, there's a bunch of games that you can, and the guy's just visiting. I mean, the Nintendo building is very close. It's in Redmond, and it's very close to the Microsoft building. So why not go by there? He can. Why not? But we're going to make a big deal out of it? That's ridiculous. I don't know. I just don't see the point in making such a big deal out of it. I mean, can the guy just get a visit? And I guess that'd be okay as long as you didn't bring that fake Gameboy. And I don't know if you've seen that, Free, but the fake Gameboy came out. And
Yeah.
so I actually had one. I've played this.
I would pick one up for that price point. I mean,
you should. It is a great on board in the car waiting for something thing to do. So it's from Mercury Inventions Arcade Fund. It's $10 if you can even find one right now. And you get 200 games. And good God, I've played this and it's exactly what you'd expect it to be. The thing that really is funny is that a lot of the games that are on it that are popular or that you'll see rip-off games like Pokemon. Like it's not exactly Pokemon, but there is a lot of Japanese versions of games. Like they have the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Japanese version of it. They have Excite Bike in there. Like legit.
That's worth $10 right there.
Yeah, I think
original Excite Bike. Yeah.
It is damn good and damn fun. And if you can find one at your local big box store for $10, grab one. You won't be disappointed. I don't think you will. I mean,
I'm gonna wait till one of my local big box stores is going out of business. Then I'm gonna buy a bunch of them at a discount
and flip them.
And I'm gonna start a Amazon site. Yeah.
Well, there was a rush.
I'm gonna charge 20.
Did you hear about the recent rush at a lot of these big box stores for? I think it's the Amazon Fire Stick. Because they're you're able to put a bootloader on it and put illegal software on it. So a lot of these, when the price went down to I want to say $25 or something stupid like that on a sale.
Yeah.
You had people buying carriages full, and all they're going to do is open them, put the illegal software on.
For those of you who don't live in the county of Rhode Island or local parts thereabout, he's talking about a buggy or a shopping cart.
Man, really? You guys
Well,
call
I'm just translating.
A buggy?
Some areas of the country do call it a buggy.
Whatever. In some areas of the country call them.
Some areas they call them carriages. What the hell is that?
So finally, in Stick Style news, we have something interesting. It's a koozie for your Xbox Series X. And I thought this was
Yeah, I
kind of
thought this
smart.
was pretty cool.
So a lot of people will buy stickers. Most people upgrade their console with stickers or wraps. And the wraps are okay. They look good if you get them on there right. But you really have to work hard to get them just right. And then removing them, they're adhesive, and 3M made a lot of money on this stuff. So that's all
Yeah.
well and good. But I swear to God, if this kid is, who the fuck is at my house? So when you have these, what Microsoft decided to do was they came up with a new idea, kind of. It's a wrap for your Xbox. And what it does is it wraps around. I'd like to coin the phrase the Xbox bra, because it's got two tiny Velcro flaps that once you wrap it around the Xbox,
Are they Velcro or is it magnetic?
either way, it's like a bra. And it's designed so the inside of this sleeve, you could say, is not going to slip and slide right off the Xbox. It's going to stay pretty still. It leaves the ventilation holes wide open, so you don't have to worry about any sort of ventilation on it at all. And they're wrapped, so you can just disconnect them or take away the magnet or Velcro, whatever you want to do, and just take it off of your Xbox. So even though I have a Halo Edition Xbox, I can throw a wrap on it and be done with it. They're going to have two different, they're standard camo wraps, which I still can't believe is popular. The white and gray and the hell's the other one? Tan?
You can't believe camo's popular?
No, in this iteration, like the camos for gaming and stuff. Like camo's camo, like wearing camo has a reason behind it and whatnot, but the camo controllers and stuff,
Yeah,
I've never
for some
gotten
people,
those.
camo is a way of life.
Yes, but that camo, like the white and blue and then the white and gray, like where are you hiding in Antarctica?
I don't know. I hadn't seen that one. Where is it?
They're at the bottom of the link. They came out with 3 of them. So the 2 of them are going to be the camo ones that you've seen Xbox do a million times. But the third one, even cooler, is the Starfield one.
Yeah,
And the
that
Starfield
was
one
pretty
is
tight.
pretty damn cool. And it's $50.
Yep, I'm not seeing them.
They're $50 and they're releasing October 18th. And yes, I've already pre-ordered my Starfield edition one. As soon as I saw it, I clicked on it and bought it. Yeah, that's just the way I am. So it's a nice styling, and I have a picture right here in the show notes of how it breaks down and how you're probably going to be sent, where you have to fold it up like origami to get it around your device. But definitely worthwhile. And I see a lot going on with this, especially if they can do one of 2 things with this. They can put it into their customization shop, which I think Xbox is nailing their customization. You can now get a controller,
they
whether
are.
an Elite or a regular one, any color, any style you want. I think this is the next step, and I think it's a brilliant step at that. Kind of like, again, you want PlayStation to succeed. You want Sony to do the right thing, but they keep doing stupid shit. Like they release plates, and then they released, you can get other plates. Okay, great, you gave us different color plates, but that's where it ended. Why did you end it there? You have plates. It's designed so that we can replace the plates on the PlayStation. Why would you not come out with all sorts of different ones? Like you can get the Spider-Man one, which is great. That's your franchise. You own the IP for Spider-Man, so you created Spider-Man plates, extremely limited and extremely difficult to get. But why did you not do anything else with it? I think Microsoft is onto something here with these, because not only can they put them in their custom shop, but they can also license it out. I guarantee you they have a patent for that. So they can just basically license it out to anything. So you can think about it in the future. You can get a game, say a Forza game, new Forza Motorsport. Your collectible edition that you purchase not only comes with the tin for the physical game and a bunch of unlockables, but it comes with one of these wraps for your Xbox. Any game you like, you can have the wrap for your Xbox. So you didn't buy, like, I haven't played Halo in a minute. I love the Xbox. The look of it is great, but I haven't played Halo in a minute. So, yeah, I want to change it up because Starfield's coming out. I'll be playing the shit out of that. Yeah, I'm going to put the Starfield wrap on it. It's going to look great. I'm playing Starfield with my Starfield headset, my Starfield controller. Gimmick it right out. I'll do the same thing with Forza. You can grin all you want. You know damn well I'm gonna.
They also have some Starfield hand lotion coming out too.
Oh, do that? I'll get it.
Yeah.
I have to
But you have
say,
to be careful because they sell it for either the right or the left hand. It's not.
yeah, that's pretty funny. That's great. So they do have. I will say this. I'll save myself a little bit. They have 2 different external hard drives for Starfield. 2 terabyte, which is your standard one, like I have right over
You'll be
there.
all set once Kleenex releases a Starfield edition box.
Yes, free. And then they have a beautiful looking 8
Sorry, you're
terabyte
just
one.
creaming about Starfield a lot.
And honestly, I really hope I'm not like ultra disappointed. Like I've waited for a game like this for a while. I wanted Star Wars to do a game like this.
I have too, but I'm not getting my hopes up anymore.
I started off saying I wasn't going to, and then the more little things that I've seen, the more I'm getting excited. Like we talked about off the air about trying to figure out what we're going to name our ships. Like you get a
Yes,
ship.
we have had that conversation, folks. We are
Yes.
both geeking on this.
Yeah, the fact that it's and you don't want to
Should
go
we
with
reveal
like
it, or should we reveal our names, or do we want
No,
to hold
no.
on to that?
We're going to hold on to that.
Okay.
But I'm going to enjoy. It's kind of like going to a Comic-Con and the amount of Harley Quinns you see at a Comic-Con. I can't wait to fire up Starfield and see other people in space with Millennium Falcon. Like there's going to be a bazillion of those. Razor Crest, Enterprise. There's going to be so many of those, and I just think that's definitely not something I want to do. Though Razor Crest.
You know what I'm gonna if
yeah,
it's possible, I'll just give you the name of the show.
Yeah.
Farscape.
Oh, not many people are going to have that one.
Yeah.
How long?
Anything from that one?
Maybe we should start a pool to see how long it takes Bethesda to ban the amount of ships they have named Slave One, because you know that's going to happen, and Hasbro ain't going to take any liking to that at all. All right, let's get to the final segment so I can go find out who the hell keeps circling my house. Oh, I'm going to go to jail. So, for what it's worth, let's get into some space news, because that's what we all love, is some space news. SpaceX, you gotta love your buddy Elon, Free, because the way he names some shit is funny. I mean, changing Twitter to X was stupid, but most of the other stuff he does is kind of funny. So
was it?
I agree. It's growing. SpaceX has a program called Bandwagon, which I thought was funny. Jump on the bandwagon. I just think that's brilliant. They're starting a rideshare program.
The dude's got a sense of humor. I mean, he really does.
He does.
Like when he walked in Twitter headquarters carrying the sink.
Yes.
Let that sink in. I mean, come on.
They're starting a rideshare program. These will be missions aimed at meeting demand for a mid-inclination orbit. So what it is...
You know what he needs to do?
What's that?
To really help this whole bandwagon marketing thing get off the ground?
What's that?
He needs to start his own rideshare service called Bandwagon.
Gee, Free, that's so original. Did you give him that information?
No, I mean like Uber, Lyft, Bandwagon.
It is. This is what he's doing. So if you want to go up into space and get...
No, not space. Like literally, instead of calling it Uber or a Lyft, you call the Bandwagon.
Why not? Why not?
Get the everyday citizen on the bandwagon.
I like that. I do like that a lot.
And you get like a 25% discount if the group is a bridal party or, bachelor party thing.
Oh,
Bandwagon.
That would
be
good.
Like the party wagon, but bandwagon.
Bandwagon. So they're going to be doing this whole thing where you can pay to fly into space.
Something that carries 6+ people.
A bandwagon. Good job, Free.
Yeah.
So the transporter rideshare program.
You got your consultants coming over from Japan. You don't want to split them up into a couple of
Ubers.
Whatever, or rental vans. You get a bandwagon.
And you can have high-class bandwagons.
I'm gonna have to hit him up on X after the show.
Most of the time, people do the transporter program, which takes you on a sun synchronous orbit on a Falcon 9, which is pretty cool. But the mid inclination orbit are more appealing to remote sensing companies, which I found really interesting. And they can get up there and test their coverage over different markets. And I wonder how much that costs, because it seems to me that if you're going up there and sensing stuff from orbit onto like your coverage area of, I don't know, cell phone signals or something like that, how much money is he making off of that? Like, this is not, he is not joking around with this. People do not, I mean, I love NASA, but don't sleep on SpaceX at all, because he's diversifying. He's going to be making money. If you can sell, I mean, the guy that did Virgin, what the hell was his name? He tried to do a
Branson.
Yeah, Branson tried to do the whole space thing where you fly up there for half an hour and then come back down and sell
Yeah,
it commercially.
a
Starliner?
what they call it?
Was it Starliner?
I forget what they called it, but yeah, it wasn't an actual. You weren't going all the way to space, but it was a high
gravity,
altitude,
yeah.
low space orbit thing where
Yeah.
you got up to that point where you were you basically you kind of break through for a little bit, so you're getting, like you said, that 30 to 45 minutes of weightlessness,
Yeah.
and then back in.
Yep. And I think Elon's doing the right thing because he's subsidizing a lot of this stuff. So you might go up there and there's 4 or 5 people that are spent $1 million on getting into low orbit. But there's also like people on the back half of this plane or this rocket that are doing testing experiments on mice or sensing equipment or cellular networks or whatever the hell else it is. And he's making money off of that too. I think this is brilliant. I think he's got it down to a science, for lack of a better term. And Elon's making money and China's making bigger announcements as we go along when it has to do with space, which was also quite interesting. China, and again, this was clickbait, and this is why I brought this up on the show. China's rover just recently mapped 1,000 feet of hidden structures deep into the dark side of the moon. Now, of course, you see that and you're like, click, 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 click. It's not what you think. It's not pyramids and faces in the lunar surface. It's not.
They literally mean geological structures,
right?
Like the layer, the way the layering of
the moon, essentially. So 2018, China's Chang 4 vehicle was the first ever to go to the dark side of the moon, which I'd still like to see a lot more pictures of.
Or was it?
Yeah, I agree with that one. This is showing millions of years of erosion, which is like what Fremo was getting at. Structures is a very strong word, and I think they did that just for clickbait, which is fine, but it's
like I said, it's geological structures.
Right.
So if they put the word geological in front of it, it would have been more accurate, but nobody would have clicked on it. They were like,
I also think it's funny that they changed the name from ground penetrating radar to lunar penetrating radar. It's the same fucking machine.
Yeah.
And they did that. They claim that they suggest that the top 130 feet is actually just dust, soil, and broken rocks on the moon, which is understandable, especially on the dark side of the moon, because it doesn't have any sort of surface light, I guess you could say, and things react differently to light. Scientists speculate that the moon formed 4.51 billion years ago. I still stand by the fact that why is there no early literature that states anything about a moon, which was the biggest thing in our sky? So, just saying. When Mars-sized objects hit Earth and broke off a huge part, it created the moon. I don't agree with that in any way. But China is having a lot better luck than Russia.
Like, how far back are you saying in human history as far as the moon not being referenced? Because
what?
I mean, we've got stuff from thousands of years ago that reference the moon.
No, we don't. We have references to the sun. We have no reference to the moon.
That's not accurate.
I disagree. Oh, we're gonna have a fun debate on another show about this then.
Well, the Dead Sea Scrolls. How old are the Dead Sea Scrolls?
Nothing in there about the moon.
Yeah.
No.
Genesis.
When did they talk about the moon?
The creation The two lights, the one for day and the one for night.
That's
the moon.
I disagree.
Okay, what light do you have in the sky at night?
Stars.
I only got one down here, and it's the moon.
Stars.
Maybe I've got another one up there. I don't know about, but
it's a different moon.
Maybe y'all just had a big ass balloon hanging up over Rhode Island.
It was. It flew in from China.
It looks, you can't see it during the day, but at night it looks like a moon.
No, I believe they were referencing the stars.
No.
Yes.
It's because it talks about all the stars and the light to rule the night. And the stars. It's specifically the moon.
Okay.
And that's 3-something thousand years ago.
Right. What about before that?
Well, I don't know. I haven't studied every piece of ancient literature out there.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, first of all, we lost a crap ton in the Alexandrian library fire.
Agreed.
So, but we do have at least one document that's over 3-something thousand years old where it's referenced.
Yep.
So when do you think it showed up?
Right around that time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, literally. Slightly before then. So China's having good times. Elon's having good times in space. Russia.
Is that because that was like the trailer on the alien spaceship, and they just decided to park it there and leave it, and they'll come back for it later?
Just saying. A lot of mysteries about the moon. A lot of mysteries. It's just
we're gonna have to take this one offline. I don't think we got this kind of time, folks. I'll tell you what we need to do. We need to open it up for anybody that wants to join us for the moon conversation.
Oh, that'd be a fun conversation with different people in the room.
Yeah, just, well, I mean, we'll mute them or unmute them as we see fit, but, we don't want some nut job coming in and taking over our banter. But
I get
other
holes punched in all my theories all the time. It doesn't bother me at all. Like when I made the comment about this, the moon's craters being the same depth, one of my coworkers who I love just looked at me and he goes, "How can you tell from this picture that they're the same depth?" I'm like, "Well, they're about the same depth." No, they're not. And when you look at a different angled picture, they don't look all the same. But none of the craters have gone below a certain depth. Was the actual point that I'm making. Anyway.
Okay.
Discussion for another time.
Because if something big enough hit it to make a bigger crater, maybe it splits the moon in half. I mean, I don't know. What are you looking for? They got craters that are massively deep on the moon.
Right, but they're all the same. Even the deep ones only go down so far. I love how frustrated you look.
Okay. How many feet of dust?
130.
Loose dust and soil?
130.
Yeah, don't you think that's going to dampen an impact?
No. Not with the size of the craters that are the size of Texas.
Okay. Get you a bucket of sand.
Yeah.
Right? Put like 6 to 8 inches of sand in it.
Uh-huh.
And then get you 6 to 8 inches of concrete.
Uh-huh.
And then take the same gun.
Yeah.
From the same distance and shoot into both buckets.
Okay.
And see what you end up with.
A mess.
Well, I mean, if you're an idiot, possibly, but
hey, who's got two thumbs and just say that?
You're gonna end up with a ding in the concrete.
Right.
And you're gonna end up with a little hole in the sand. Right?
Yeah.
But the hole in the sand is going to look smaller than the ding in the concrete.
Okay.
But it's the same size bullet hitting both.
Right.
So if you've got 130 something feet of dust on top of whatever else, you're going to end up with a big crater and then sand's gonna
Fall into it.
dust is gonna
Yeah.
funnel into it.
All I'm saying is that even the largest craters on the moon
Yeah.
are roughly the same depth. Like they only go down so far.
Because it's loose dust. It's gonna funnel to the low
Right,
points.
but on an impact, some of these craters are so large that the impact where it's massive. That'll be an extinction level event on this planet, as well as creating probably a crack in the mantle. Yet the moon doesn't have that problem. The moon gets hit.
Maybe the core of the moon is freaking adamantium and you ain't gonna hurt it. I don't know.
That's possible too. You're absolutely right. Why did when we were crashing Apollo 15 and 16 into the moon, why did it ring like a bell, like it was hollow?
Did it?
Yes.
Who heard it?
NASA. It's facts.
They heard it through what?
Through the sensors on the orbiter that they kind of crashed into the
In the 1960s,
70s. Yeah.
70s, working on radio signals
Yep.
with no distortion.
Data retrieval. Yeah. Freeman, how do you think they talked to the moon? How do you think they ran
Have you heard
sensors?
those? It doesn't sound like you and I talking right now.
No, but they're doing seismic sensors.
Horrible. Do you think the guy sounded like that? Go ahead, say it. Say it.
I'm not saying it.
I hate you.
I do.
We were joking about that yesterday. They're like, so why do you antagonize? I was like, I try to see how many douchebags and I hate yous I can get.
There's a lot of them. Imagine if a fan just clipped together 20 years of douchebag and I hate you.
Oh, that'd be hours worth of footage.
That would be fucking funny. That'd be real funny.
We may have to get somebody on that.
Yeah, I don't know anybody's going to want to do that. All right, so last story.
I mean, I don't know anybody that would watch it other than you and I, but we would. We sit and laugh the whole time because I guarantee you some of them we would remember what
exactly what we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Russia was the first to hit space in 1961.
Or were they?
Or were they? Yes, that's a very good thing. But they were the first humans to get to space in 1961.
No.
What happened to them?
No. The aliens grabbed humans well before 61 and took them up to space and probed them.
We probed them. Their first lunar mission was 47 years ago.
Remind
what?
Just
What?
God,
What?
it's so bad. I can't say it till we're not on the air. But remind me.
All right.
Oh my God. I hate my brain sometimes.
So Russia had planned on doing a soft landing when they were into a pre-landing orbit. And then, as the Russians put it, the apparatus moved into an unpredictable orbit and ceased to exist as a result with the collision with the surface of the moon. Poor Russia. I mean, really. Poor Russia. Russian media gave about 26 seconds to it in a noontime news broadcast. Like, they didn't even want to acknowledge the fact that this happened. They were the first to get out into orbit, and now they can't even land on the moon properly. And they were hoping that this landing would show that they're in line with the other superpowers and going to the moon, but they're obviously not. And the thing that kind of broke my heart as a space junkie.
I'm sorry. We can all see what's happening with your forces in the Ukraine and what they're outfitted with. And the fact that whole convoys are just broke down and left on the side of the road because you don't even have the parts to fix them.
Right.
You ain't fooling nobody by landing something on the moon, even if it had been successful.
You have Garmin GPS taped to your flight controls of your planes. That's a problem.
Yeah.
But what broke my heart, because again, all the stories that we talk about space and how we're making such huge jumps right now, what broke my heart was a Russian scientist that has been working on the project. He's like 95 or something like that. and he was truly hoping that we would get back, that they would get back onto the moon and be part
Oh,
of
there's
the
a Freudian
superpowers.
slip.
This poor guy, as
Sorry,
soon as
comrade, I won't sell you out.
like um the thing that made me sad about it was like the day after that their lunar module crashed, he was actually sent to the hospital and wasn't doing well last time I checked in. Like that was his last hope.
Because
Yeah.
you know he was involved with the original stuff.
Right, exactly. And he just wanted to see his homeland. Because you can say what you want about any country, China, Russia, or anything. When you break it down to the scientists or the techies in these countries, we're not thinking about borders. Yeah.
They're trying to do something amazing for mankind, you know?
Right. And to put their stamp on it. And that's what's sad. So without further ado, do you have anything else this week, sir?
Let me jump over here and check my notes. Nope, we're good. I think we covered it all.
Yep, because I gotta go.
Although I did have to ask exactly what the show title was about this time. I normally don't have a problem deciphering your choices when I'm not involved, because we actually bounce that around a lot. But there's times when I'm just not available for that conversation, and he picks a show name, and I don't.
So
I'm not getting that one.
It's twofold. I had the TV going on in the background when I was writing show notes, and I was also looking at the Trump stuff. So I was looking at all these pictures that were supposedly his mugshots, and in the background was Major League.
Okay.
And when they came to the scene, it's a hat for bats. Was the same time when I found a bunch of pictures of Trump's wig.
I got you. Soon as you said Major League, it clicked. It made sense. Okay.
All right, that's it for this week. 10's down, show's over.
Whoop, whoop.
So you can find more of this garbage at bgfgonline.com. You can also send us an email with your questions or suggestions at bgfgshow@gmail.com. Find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Overcast, Podcast, Castro, Castbox, Podchaser, and YouTube. Thank you for listening.